I'm a hypocrite, you're a hypocrite. We're all hypocrites, whether or not we're conscious or unconscious of it. It's just part of being a human in a society. And I don't believe that being a hypocrite is a reflection of your character or who you are as a person, but I do think that how you respond to being a hypocrite is a reflection of who you are as a person, what you choose to do after acknowledging that you are a hypocrite. And I've been trying to do a lot of intellectual, emotional, mental work on myself, especially while on this job hunting journey. I've been reading, I've been journaling, I've been listening, I've been learning, I've been researching, just trying to learn as much about my place in the world as I can. And through that, I've grown a lot. Like, I've changed. My values have changed a lot. My idea of being an adult has changed, and what that truly means to grow up and be a grown up. And so while my values are changing, I feel like my actions haven't necessarily kept up with the ways that I'm changing inside. What I know and believe to be true has changed, yet I don't think my actions reflect that. And so there's just been a lot of cognitive dissonance going on, and the more that I grow, the further apart I feel like misaligned my actions and my values are. And I think it's interesting that I will look at other people, like learning about the world through other people and what they do and what they don't do. And to sit there and look at someone else and go, they're not doing what's right, they're not doing what's just, and to cast judgment on them for that. Yet if I look within myself and my own actions, I can see that I also am not even living up to my own standards for being a human and being a part of society. So Annie Dillard said, how you spend your days is how you spend your life. And I don't think the way that I've spent my days reflects how I want to spend my life. I don't currently feel like I'm doing anything on a day-to-day basis that is going to allow me to look back on this period of my life and go, yeah, you spent that doing what you wanted to do, or helping others in the way that you know that you should be helping others. And this was really uncomfortable for me because I've always considered myself to be a good person, like a decent person at the very least. I've always considered myself to be someone who cares about other people, cares about the environment, cares about all living beings. But am I really that great of a person if I am not the sort of community member that I expect other people to be? And this isn't to say that I'm a terrible person or a bad person. Like I said, like I don't think being a hypocrite is a reflection of who you are as a person. I think it's just a part of the human condition. Like you're always going to be somewhat misaligned with what you believe and what you actually do, just because of, like, that's just life. There's no escaping it. But I never want to be someone who does a whole lot of this and not a whole lot of action to back all of that yap up. I've been taught that my job is not to be the perfect hero, the perfect savior, the perfect person, because it's just not possible. But I'm responsible for trying. That's it. Like I just have to try. I have to make like an effort in good faith to try to do what I can to be better. And that's even if it's uncomfortable, even if it costs me money, even if I have to make sacrifices, even if I have to, move parts of my life around for the sake of someone or something else. That's what being an adult is, I feel. Doing things in service of others, even when it doesn't necessarily benefit me. So after reflecting on all of this and trying to figure out, well, what can you do? What role are you going to have in making the world a better place? I decided that I wanted to start fostering dogs. And that is how I ended up with Chamberlain, who is sitting right there. He just chewed up his toy. There's fluff all over my house. That's okay because he's having a really good time. Right now, all of the shelters across the country are overflowing with dogs. There's way too many dogs. There are not enough homes. I don't currently feel like I'm in a position to permanently house a dog, just because it's just not, that just does not align with the way that I'm moving, the way that I want to move in the near future. Yeah, sit down with your, he's now chewing the empty carcass of his chew toy, of his stuffed animal. But I can definitely provide a home, a temporary home for a dog to wait out being adopted, to also then make room for other dogs in the shelter. Having a dog in the house has immediately forced me to be in a routine. It's as simple as that. Like, I wake up super early feed the dog, take the dog out, bring the dog home, help the dog decompress after the walk, because he's still a little bit like, you know, he gets home and he's like up after his walk. I can have that period to do what I need to do, and then I know that at around noon and the evening and at night, like, I'm also going to be walking the dog. So like, what can I do in between them that's productive? It's also just important when it comes to foster dogs or rescue dogs to provide them with a predictable routine. Like, psychologically, it's helpful for dogs to have a routine, which me too. See, I'm just like the dog. For me, this project of mine feels like the first step in growing up. Not the act of caring for the dog itself, but the act of doing something for someone or something bigger than myself that is actually making a meaningful contribution to someone else's life. And I believe we all have our role in making our communities better and safer and just like more welcoming and just like a better environment. And to me, truly growing up is deciding to lean into that role in a authentic, like from a genuine place. Which I could create an entire video on how my definition of like growing up has changed, because it really has forced me to like reevaluate all of the different milestones that I've set for myself, and how growing up is not a certain birthday or a certain job or a certain anything. Like, it's becoming a I don't want to say becoming a better person, but just becoming a person who trying to be a more selfless person. How about that? Trying to be a more selfless person. But this video is not about that. This video is about dedicating every single day of my life to being just a little bit better than the day before, to being a little more mature than the day before, and making decisions that reflect the sort of life that I want to live when this is all said and done. I don't want to look back on my 20s and think, wow, there's so much that you could have done, but you didn't do because of laziness or ignorance, or just because I was like unmotivated or helplessness. I want to be someone who wakes up every day knowing that they have a mission, and that mission is to try. So shout out to trying. I really think that is the mission, is just to try to be better. And I think that by doing this, by taking on this responsibility of providing a safe home for this dog that is going to eventually be looking for its home, that's me trying to be better. And obviously the journey doesn't stop here. It's a little bit every day, but for right now, this is what feels like I can do responsibly. I can actually put like a lot of myself into doing this thing, and I can see the difference that I'm making, and so that's what's making me happy. So yeah, shout out to trying, shout out to living a better life, and shout out to you guys. I can't wait to see where this effort leads me.